Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Today we're doing something that I have never done before, a completely like I was saying, never done before. We're talking about some of the hottest new fragrances of 2025, and the reason that I wanted to do this one today is because I placed a big old order from Macy's and got myself a lot of new fragrances. And I want to talk about those new releases for 2025 and let you know which ones are the truth, which ones are fantastic that you need to check out, and which ones exist. They are, you can buy them if you want to. They exist. All of these are going to be linked in the description below. Since pretty much all of these are newer releases, a lot of them are not going to be available at discounters yet, so a bunch of them are still available only at full retail until the future when they eventually do hit discounters. And we got to start off with an Elixir because them's the rules. I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. And the fragrance is Varvatos XX Elixir. So yeah, Varvatos may be ever so slightly late to the Elixir party, but that's okay. They can take their own time. No rush or anything. I'm sure there's gonna be a brand that like 3 or 4 years from now comes out with their first Elixir fragrance and everyone's gonna go, oh, look at you, that's special, it's good for you, bless your heart. Now in typical Elixir fashion, the bottle is on the smaller side. It is 75 mils, and you could say, well, yeah, man, but Varvatos fragrances, they come typically in 75 mil. They do, but they also come in 125 mil, which this one does not, only the smaller size. So very reminiscent of when Elixir came out in a 60 mil size bottle and there was no larger size available. Pretty much the same thing going on here. The price is not quite as high though as the other Elixir fragrances. This one is only $165. What a deal. So how is the old Elixir or the old new Elixir? Well, I freaking love it. This stuff smells great. When you first spray it on, very fruity, sweet. A little bit reminiscent right off the rip of like a Polo Red-esque kind of flanker. Not the exact same as any of the Polo Reds, that's just kind of like the first thing that popped into my mind. It has that sort of like sweetness to it. The actual notes off the top, Divana, ginger, and bergamot, really enticing. It does dry down pretty quickly though, then you get a nice booziness and warmth that comes out. It's rum, tonka, leather, a little bit of woods as well. Quality is really good, and the whole thing with Varvatos, they don't really last. Right, that's the stereotypical Varvatos vibe, that you spray it on, oh, it smells great, the quality, blah, 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 and then 2 seconds later, oh, where'd it go, dang it. I've only worn this one a couple times, but it has lingered. It has stuck around for a long time, which it should, because again, it's named Elixir and it's freaking expensive. So while I know a lot of people out there are gonna go, oh, Varvatos, I don't care, Elixir, I don't care. This stuff smells great for fall and winter time. Now, even though it does have some of that sweetness off the top, it's not like a bubblegummy sweetness. It's not an overbearing gourmandy type of sweetness. So if you're younger, I'm talking like teenage years, early 20s, something like that, this may not appeal as much to you, but like mid 20s and up, you're good to go. It is actually way better than I expected. After that one, the new Dolce & Gabbana Devotion Parfum. Yeah. The reason this one's kind of funny to me is because they came out with Devotion already earlier this year. So they came out with the original fragrance in the line, or the first fragrance in the men's version of the line, and a flanker in the same year. I can't remember the last time that happened. Like legitimately, I have no clue the last time that happened. Now the original Devotion, a lot of people did not enjoy this one. Basically said that it was either boring or that it was just not something appealing to wear. And the original Devotion is a little interesting because it's got this coffee note that sets it apart from most other designer fragrances out there. Also has a nice fresh citrus, touch of woods kind of thing going on. The Parfum still has coffee as one of the main notes in there, but in actuality doesn't have a ton of coffee compared to the original. Yeah. So it's kind of odd in a way. You would think that this is just going to be taking the original Devotion and then making it deeper, making it a little heavier. You know, the typical thing that happens when you go to a Parfum edition. Instead, it has more of a lavender focus with vanilla and woods as it dries down, with the coffee really kind of as an afterthought, kind of in the background. And what ends up happening is it does come across safer, probably easier to wear for some people that didn't really jive with the original one, but it also loses part of what made the original one the original one. What I mean to say is it's a bit more generic. And I think if any fragrance out there can pinpoint what is wrong right now with Dolce & Gabbana when it comes to fragrances, it's this. It's not that it smells bad, it's completely wearable. It's just there's nothing here that really grabs you right away and you go like, they nailed it. Instead, you smell it and you go, yeah, I mean, yeah. It's okay. And that's Dolce & Gabbana in a nutshell. Right now, they're just kind of crapping things out there, hoping that something sticks. And a lot of it is just kind of forgettable. So of the 4 fragrances that I got in earlier this week, as of when I'm filming this video, this one was mine and also my wife's least favorite. Now the next one I'm gonna share with you is gonna be one of my favorites of the entire year, hands down. But before we get to that, I wanna share with you guys some codes, including new ones for JOMASHOP, for Fragflex, and for Lucky Scent. So there's a code that will get you 10% off Lucky Scent's website. You can use that to save on a ton of niche and indie fragrances. Gift Express, we've got the 15% off code, $400 or above is the minimum order. There were some issues with that one. So they had changed it behind the scenes to like over $600 is what the order had to be. They said it was a mistake on their end and that they've switched it back to $400. So that should be working. If you had issues with that in the past, it should be rectified. Then you see all the other codes that you can use to save yourself money across a bunch of different websites. All right, the one that is easily one of my favorites, Ralph's Club New York. And I've talked about this one a few times, but man, this stuff gets better and better and better. Compliment Magnet. Fresh and sweet, that deadly combo working together in perfect harmony. The opening, fantastic. People love it. Legitimately go crazy for it. Has a really nice introduction of black currant. Now, to be fair, it's not like an overloaded black currant because that note can come across with, what's the best way to say it? A pea smell? Is that, no, that sounds weird. If it's really overloaded, it can come across tart. Obviously, with this one being a designer fragrance, it is not overloaded. It is very easy to wear, and it does have a faint hint of tartness to kind of counterbalance the sweetness that's in there, but it's very, very approachable. As it dries down, it keeps things firmly rooted in versatile territory where you can pull this off anytime that you want. It is fantastic, and also the bottle size is ever so slightly larger than usual. I don't know if this is going to become a thing. I would assume probably not, but this one is slightly larger than your typical 100 ml size, so you get a little bit extra. And with prices on everything going up and up and up, it would be kind of cool if they gave you just a little extra juice with each purchase. Next one I want to talk about is Abbey Rouge Spirit by Guerlain. Guerlain, another house where there could be some questions about like, what is the plan right now? Like, what exactly are you guys doing? I'm assuming that probably in the next year or two, I'm assuming they're either going to launch a new line for men or they're gonna have to go back to L'Homme Ideal. Otherwise, they're pretty much abandoning the more affordably priced fragrances that they have that men would wear. Obviously, this line is much more of a line made for a very specific niche of person. Typically, this fragrance and this line in general going to be worn more by older guys, potentially older guys with money. That's very much how it smells. It has an old school aesthetic to it. If you get this one and you're expecting it to be completely different from some of the fragrances that have come out recently in this line, you'll be disappointed because it's pretty similar in a lot of ways to the Parfum edition that came out here recently, which that one is right here. And you can tell the difference between the two because this one has a cap that is wooden the new one, Spirit. Massive difference. But yeah, these are quite similar. There's not a massive difference between the two. The new one, Spirit, makes use of vanilla, a good amount of it. Also has that typical leathery scent profile that the line is really well known for, even though I don't think that's an official note. It has a bit of a whiskey barrel oak kind of vibe to it. So like remnants of boozy sweetness and then that lightly smoky woodiness. There is a hint of iris in here, but if you were hoping for a lot of it, you know, like a big push in that direction, you're gonna be disappointed. It's very long lasting, the projection a little bit above average as well. I would say between the two that I actually like the Parfum more. It has maybe a little more character to it for me, whereas Spirit kind of treads familiar ground, doesn't do anything different enough to really set itself apart, and ultimately, like I said, it's going to appeal mainly to guys probably in their 40s and up. If you're looking for a really classy evening scent for fall and winter time though, that one will do the job. It's just, I think, like I said, that some of the other ones in the line as it exists already are better. Now, an alternate fragrance you could get for similar situations that I think is better overall than this one is Gentleman's Society Ombre. This one is also going to appeal to guys, probably middle-aged and up, but it smells just more interesting, more unique, and just overall is easier to wear. And even though I said middle-aged and up, I think guys in their 20s could pull this off as well because it does have a good dose of sweetness in there. So it's got iris, tobacco, vanilla, some woody notes as well. The quality here, fantastic. I think easily of the current Society fragrances, Gentleman's Society fragrances, this is the best one. And it lasts just as long, projects just as well as the Guerlain over here. So between Givenchy and Guerlain for classy, sexy evening fragrances, this one, Gentleman's Society Ombre, wins out for me. Let's go to the new Ferragamo Sublime Leather, which this line kind of interesting to me. They just keep popping them out, you know, a new leather fragrance, a new leather fragrance, a new leather fragrance. And it feels like none of them catch on in a really big way, but they keep on coming. So A for effort for Ferragamo. They are not giving up yet. They've done more of the leather fragrances than they have the Uomo fragrances, and I wish they would have done more of these. Instead, they did casual life and urban feel, and then they went, yeah, just cancel those, yeah, no. I miss you, bud. Before I forget, we will do a giveaway later in today's video, something completely random. But back to this one, Sublime Leather. It has a good amount of notes in there, so kudos to Ferragamo for giving us an actual note breakdown. Off the top, it's got cinnamon, bergamot, and apple, cocoa, tonka, orange blossom, davana, labdanum, patchouli, vetiver, vanilla, cedar, and sandalwood. Pretty sure that's the whole breakdown, but yeah, an actual note breakdown, thank you. And this one's really intriguing to me because it's not hardcore leather, which I guess makes sense. The name, again, Sublime Leather. It has a nice kind of sparkle to it, an effervescence, a little bit of like a carbonated vibe to it that lingers for a while. You get nice spices, sort of like a fresh, warm mixture, little touches of fruit, adding some sweetness off the top. And that layered sweetness kind of carries through into the dry down. As you can see with the note breakdown there, tonka, cocoa, vanilla, a lot of different sweet notes, but it never becomes an overwhelmingly sweet scent. It's actually more of like a sweet, woody fragrance with bits of spice and then a subtle leather layered over top. It does kind of tickle my brain in the way that I feel like I've smelled stuff similar to this a bunch of different times, but it doesn't smell the exact same as any of them. So it's one of those scents that kind of takes bits and pieces from other fragrances and puts it together in its own way. And overall, it smells great. Really easy to wear, fall and winter time for sure. And one of those ones that as time goes on, if you find it at discounters for a good price, like a lot of the other ones in this line, gonna be worth scooping up. I'd probably put this one up there with Spicy Leather in the same line. I think it's just as good as that one. Let's go from a blacked out bottle that knows what it is to a whited out bottle that doesn't. Valentino Uomo, born in Roma, Ivory. This one is a little confusing in terms of how it's put together. So the marketing behind this is that it's inspired by a 70s Manhattan nightlife. Originally, they said it was inspired by Studio 54. Then you look at the note breakdown and it's a mix of lavender, bergamot, that makes sense, and then fireplace accord. Oh, are you what? Yeah, smoky firewood, essentially. So somehow Studio 54 equals smoky fireplace, lavender, bergamot, and a whited out bottle that kind of screams minimalism. I don't know. And this one is just really focused on that lavender, a very creamy sweetness with really not that much of a smoky firewood aspect. I mean, maybe a faint hint as it dries down, but it's not like a big blast of it. It ultimately comes across as a fragrance that's, yes, wearable, potentially versatile, but not up to par with most any of the other fragrances in the lineup. I think that I would take just about all of them over this one, unfortunately. But it is a limited edition, and if you're into limited editions, you should scoop it up because Valentino does mean it when they say limited. Usually that means it's gonna be out for like a month or two and then it's gone. Another brand new one, Michael Kors Absolute Pour Homme. Pour Homme? For men? For dudes? For bros. Enormously boring note breakdown. Lemon, lavender, and cedarwood. Wow. You could not have made a lazier note breakdown. It's just not possible. And yet somehow, some way, my wife thinks this smells amazing. Like, what? It makes sense though, because the opening, that lemon, it smells really attention grabbing. It's very lightly rindy, a little bit tart, but then also has this almost syrupy, deeper sweet aspect to it. And so that citrus is just really attention grabbing as soon as you spray the stuff on. And then as it dries down, it does deepen up a little bit. I know lavender cedar doesn't look like a whole heck of a lot, but it maintains this modern, masculine, clean feel with a little more body than you might expect from a Michael Kors. So it ends up low-key actually being really nice smelling with great versatility. And it's one of those ones where if you can pick this up in the future for a good price, this could be a great daily driver kind of fragrance. It is slightly more unique than the first fragrance that came out in this line that kind of set everything up. It's actually pretty well done, all things considered. Then I want to talk about Prada Paradigme, the newest one that they have popped out, their new line. Now they didn't panic like Dolce & Gabbana and drop a flanker the first year it came out, but if they did, it wouldn't have surprised me. I think the presentation on this looks pretty slick. Nice gradient coloration here. Everything looks good, looks high end, well done. It's just the fragrance itself is safe. Now that's not a bad thing. Having a safe fragrance is not a bad thing. And it does not smell bad. It's just one of those deals where a name like Prada, this huge name, is coming out with a brand new line for the first time in years and years and years, when all they've been doing is Luna Rossa, Luna Rossa, Luna Rossa, Luna Rossa. And you're like, oh man, I can't wait to see what they've been cooking up all this time. It's gonna be amazing. And then they're like, yo, who ordered the Pizza Hut pizza, baby? Who got the pan pizza? Because that's what we got for you. Like, it's a safe choice. It's a safe choice. But I don't know too many people who are gonna be like, oh my God, yes! Pizza, let's go! Except for me, I would be like that. Now I think the opening of this is actually pretty interesting, at least to me. It's green, which makes sense with the coloration of the bottle and everything, and has this nice attention-grabbing kind of sparkle. It has floral sweetness, it's fresh, it's clean, it's classy. You have bergamot in there as well, bit of muskiness, and then this sort of warmth, this resinous, very lightly balsamic warmth underneath everything. So when you first spray it on, it's like, oh, it's kind of interesting, a little bit different, like definitely modern and kind of similar to a couple other things, but with its own twist, and kind of dig it. Then the problem arises as it dries down. Again, still wearable, smells fine, nothing wrong with it. It's just, you can tell that they kind of looked at some other things out there, like myself, for example, why I sell myself, and they said, I don't want the same thing, but I do want a competitor to that one. And that's how this one was made, essentially. So it's like looking at the other person's homework or their assignment or like their story that they wrote or their song, and then going, I could probably do something kind of like that. It just ends up falling a little flat of expectations. Before we do the final fragrance, let's do the giveaway. This one is a still sealed Habibi New York Reserve Ombre of the Sea. The notes on the back: bergamot, sea salt, violet, aquatic accord, rose, a licorice fusion, a plum, amber oud, musk, patchouli, sandalwood, vanilla. Do you see? Plum. So if you want to be entered in the giveaway here, all you have to do, like the video, be subscribed to the channel, leave me a comment. Let me know what is your favorite designer release of the year so far. It doesn't have to be any of these. It could be whatever you like the most. I'll pick a winner with random comment picker, post it up on the post tab of the YouTube channel. If you are the winner, hit me up. I'll ship it out to you, and that'll probably be the following month from when this video goes live. So good luck. The final fragrance for today is Le Male Elixir Absolute. Now, when this one was first dropped, a lot of people were like, I don't know if I care too much, but as time has gone on, I think a lot of people have come around to really enjoy this one. And that's because, of course, it is a bit similar to Le Male Elixir, which is a fragrance a lot of people, myself included, really love, but obviously with a different twist. A lot of people will find this one a little more mature even than the original Elixir. A nice plum note in the opening here. Not quite as honeyed and not quite as sticky as the original Elixir. Fantastic performance, really attention grabbing. And as the year has crept on, this one has sort of crept up the rankings a little bit for myself, and I think other people as well, where you go, it's actually pretty good. And especially as fall is hitting us right now in North America, it's like, I'm not gonna have to wear that guy right there, huh? Gonna have to start getting some usage out of this thing through the cooler months. And it might end up being actually one of the best fragrance releases of the year as far as designers go. So there we go, 10 different hot new fragrances. Some of them that I think are extremely good and other ones that are a bit of a letdown. I think the best of these is Elixir Absolute, Michael Kors Absolute, because my wife loves it so much, Sublime Leather, Gentleman's Society Ombre, Ralph's Club New York, XX Elixir. I want to thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.